What's up, YouTube? Welcome to ExceedTheHype.com. It's your boy Luke Cracio coming at you with another video. Alright, this video is titled, Have the Spurs Solved the Golden State Riddle? Alright, we all know in the Western Conference there's a problem, and that problem is the Golden State Warriors. They basically swept through the Western Conference playoffs last year. They only lost one game in the postseason, and that was to the Cavaliers in the finals. It basically looked like there was no resistance in the Western Conference, even though that's supposed to be the strong conference or whatever last year. The Spurs are obviously starting to go after certain types of players as their older players are retiring off with Ginobili, and Parker is not retiring yet, but we'll see what they decide to try to do with Parker. We notice a trend with the players that the San Antonio Spurs are going after now, and I believe it's directly in response to the Golden State Warriors. I have long been saying the key to beating the Golden State Warriors is to have versatile wing players. Not necessarily bigs, not necessarily a rim protector, not necessarily anything, but it's versatile wing players. It's the ability to play 4 wing players, or possibly even 5, the more the better. Alright? And we just noticed the breaking news of the day for San Antonio, Rudy Gay, about 6'8", long arms, a big wing guy or whatever, who hasn't had the best career, but who had a lot of potential, and who's had a very stable, solid career, I guess you can say, has just signed for $17 million, a 2-year deal with the San Antonio Spurs. So what does this mean? He's really a small forward, but he's been playing more power forward minutes these last couple seasons as he's been moving around a little bit, and this just proves my point. They want more wing players. Look, they drafted last year DeJounte Murray, who's a point guard, but he's like freaking almost 6'6". They just drafted a guy out of Colorado or whatever. He's 6'5". He's going to be a rookie, and I think he's going to be pretty good. I saw a story not too long ago or whatever. It's a very, very compelling story. He's very much a Spurs guy. I'm pretty sure he's going to be a pretty good player. He's going to plug right in there, and he's going to be great for them. They still have Danny Green, even though he's been in trade talks a lot. But he's another 6'6" guy who's a above average defender. You have Kawhi Leonard, who's 6'6", 6'7", who's the best defender, perimeter defender in the league. You have LaMarcus Aldridge, who's probably going to play most minutes at center at this point in his career, if he doesn't get traded, which I doubt he will, because he's going to be necessary for what they do. And then they have a strong bench. My question for the Spurs is going to be Jonathan Simmons. What you going to do with Jonathan Simmons? Are you going to re-sign him? Can you re-sign him? Is he going to be interested in re-signing with the Spurs? He had a coming out party in the playoffs last year. He had a good season, a pretty good season last year. But in the playoffs, especially after Kawhi Leonard went down, he became like the primary scoring option, which is ridiculous, but he became the primary scoring option. And even though he obviously can't contend with the Warriors, the San Antonio was going to have trouble contending with the Warriors last year anyway. But, you know, he was able to string together like 3 pretty good games, you know, like 20-point performances or whatever from a guy they picked up in the D-League. That's pretty good that he was able to kind of fill that gap. Spurs also were able to re-sign Patty Mills, so that's good. I'm sure they'll get something done with Dedmon. He's another center who can move, who's pretty mobile and agile, can slide out there on the perimeter. We'll still see how Kyle Anderson's development goes. Basically, the Spurs are still going to be a very deep team this upcoming year, but more than that, they're going to be very versatile defensively. Basically, they're going to be able to switch 1 through 4. With LaMarcus being able to switch out on guards for you know, short spans as necessary. They wanted Iguodala, they weren't able to get Iguodala, but that's another reason. He's another one who fits into the formula, the Popovich formula that he's expecting will be able to take out the Warriors. Now, I do have to point out one thing. It's a small sample size, and nobody knows what would have happened in that series. But when we go back to the Western Conference Finals last year and we think about how the San Antonio Spurs played Game 1 against the Golden State Warriors, you just have to consider the fact they were in position to win the game. That's all I have to say about that. They were in position to win that game before Zaza Pachulia slid under Kawhi Leonard. All right? Does Popovich know something that the rest of the NBA is still trying to figure out? Does he have the answer to the Golden State riddle? All right, leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Let me know if you think Popovich has the answer. If he doesn't have a chance, if the Spurs are able to knock off Golden State Warriors next year. All right, see you next time.